Hello, and welcome to another video in the indicator testing series. This video will be the first of 4 videos where I'll be testing the moving average. In each video I will test one moving average type, and in this video we will take a look at the simple moving average, or the SMA for short. In addition to this, I have built an algorithm that uses the SMA, and I will go through it toward the end of the video. First, however, we will take a look at the different ways you can enter the market with this indicator, and then we will look at the results of the test. So here you can see the 4 different types of moving averages and how they compare. These are all the same period, and as you can see, they're quite different. There are obviously more types than these 4, but these are the most common, and therefore I will test these first. Like I said in the beginning, this video will be focused on the SMA, and I have tested 2 different entries with 2 different periods per entry. The first method of entering, which I will refer to as entry 1, happens when the price crosses the moving average, and the periods here will be 21 and 56. The reason I picked these periods are because they're Fibonacci numbers, and I will generally go with Fib numbers whenever I'm unsure about indicator periods. The second method of entering, which I will refer to as entry 2, happens when 2 moving averages crosses each other. This is a very common way to enter the market, and the periods here will be 13, 21, and 50 to 100. The second periods here are usually referred to as a death cross if it's a bearish signal, or a golden cross if it's a bullish signal. I thought it would be fun to test this, since people tend to freak out whenever a death cross occurs. This is probably more in relation to indices, stocks and commodities, however, but it is interesting to see how relevant it is in the forex market as well. So as usual, this test will span all of the 28 major pairs, multiple different timeframes, and it will be conducted across a relatively significant amount of time. The timeframes are the daily, 4-hourly, 1-hourly, and the 15-minute. Backtest duration will be from 3 years on the 15-minute and up to 15 years on the daily timeframe. The 1-hour and 15-minute timeframe will be divided into 4 sessions as well. In order to exit, I will use a stop loss and take profit, which will be calculated using the ATR. Both stop loss and take profit will be 2 times the ATR, which makes it a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. I also think it's important to mention that 2% will be risked on every trade, and spreads will also be included into the results. This makes it so that the results are more realistic and relevant. It's extremely important to always include trading costs when testing any strategy or indicator, even if it's on the daily timeframe. It's easy to think that spreads are negligible on the daily timeframe, since it seems like a small amount, but believe me, it does add up over time, and it can be the difference between whether you make money or not. This is especially true on the lower time frames. Okay, let's look at the results of this test. So I will only go through the top 5 time frames and sessions. You can check out the spreadsheet in the description yourself if you're interested. In 5th place, we're on the daily time frame, and here we have entry 1 with an indicator period of 21. Win rate is 49.71% and profit factor is 0.95. In 4th place, we are on the 4-hourly time frame with entry 1 and an indicator period of 21. Here we have a win rate of 49.87% and a profit factor of 0.95. 3rd place is also on the 4-hourly time frame, and here we have entry 2 with indicator periods of 13 and 21. Win rate is 50.05% and profit factor is 0.95. In 2nd place, we're still on the 4-hourly time frame using entry 1 with an indicator period of 56. Here win rate is 49.89% and profit factor is 0.96. You could argue that this one should be in 3rd place instead, since its win rate is lower, but it just depends on whether you value profit factor or win rate more. I would place it 2nd, since this way of entering only uses one moving average, and that means it's one less part of your system that can break. Finally, in 1st place, we're on the daily time frame with entry 1 again, and here we have an indicator period of 56. Win rate is 50.20% and profit factor is 0.97. So, overall, I'd say that using a moving average to enter the market is generally going to be an underwhelming experience. However, as a part of a complete system, it could be a worthwhile endeavor. It's going to be interesting to compare the different moving average types once I have tested them, and then maybe we can establish once and for all which is the better one out of the 4. In this next part, we'll take a look at an algorithm I've built that uses the SMA. Before I show you this algorithm, please understand that these results are historical and future results can be very different. If you decide to trade using this algorithm, make sure you understand the risk and that any results you might have, whether good or bad, is your own responsibility. So this time I struggled a lot with making an algorithm that was good enough. Many algorithms almost made it all the way through my testing process, but failed at the last step. I did eventually though end up with an algorithm that was acceptable. This algorithm trades on the daily time frame and consists of one SMA, one RSI, and two ATRs. Periods should be on the screen and in the spreadsheet. Here's how it works. It uses entry 1, which, if you can remember, happens when the price crosses above or below the moving average. Now, you only take buy signals if the RSI is above 50 and the fast ATR is above the slow ATR. And you only take sell signals if the RSI is below 50 and the fast ATR is above the slow ATR. It uses the ATR to calculate stop loss and take profit in order to exit. Stop loss is 2 times the ATR and take profit is 1.5 times the ATR. So let's look at how this algorithm has performed in the past. It was tested from 2011 to late 2021. During this time, it took 970 trades and had an average win rate of 60.93%. It had a profit factor of 1.13, max drawdown was 24%, and it returned roughly 147%. Like I said earlier, I really struggled to make the SMA work for me. This algorithm isn't very good and I don't recommend that you trade it. I figured it was good enough for this video, since my goal with creating and showing you these algorithms is so that you can understand or learn how various indicators can be used in trading strategies. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you learned something and that you found it useful. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave it down below in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer it. Stay tuned.